So you might have heard that HS2 is on the brink of cancellation with countless delays and billions over budget. But what even is H2O? I mean, HS2. Well, I've come to St Pancras today to tell you what HS2 is, why it might get cancelled, and why it being cancelled could be a good thing. HS2 is Britain's second instalment of high-speed rail. You may already know that the UK, and more specifically England, already has high-speed rail. Southeastern operates trains on the high-speed rail stretch between London, St Pancras and Dover, but the more known use of the HS1 route is by Eurostar, who link England, France, Belgium and the Netherlands together, providing an international train service. HS2 is a new high-speed rail line, but rather than it being international, it just links the bigger cities in the UK together to make travelling from one end of the country to the other much less time. The HS2 trains will be capable of running at 225 miles an hour. It is being built in phases, with the main stretch aiming to be completed by between 2029 and 2033. But where will the route go? The first of these routes would go from London to Birmingham Curzon Street. This part of the route is known as HS2 Phase 1, the route that connects London and the West Midlands. There are plenty of plans for expansion though. Phase 2A would go from a little north of Birmingham to Crewe, Phase 2B between Crewe and Manchester, HS2 East between Birmingham and East Midlands Parkway, and there are more potential HS2 services that will continue the journey north by running on already existing rail networks. These will go from Birmingham to Macclesfield, East Midlands Parkway to Leeds, Crewe to Liverpool and Crewe to Glasgow. It's a very large scale project that could be extremely useful to have, being able to get up and down the country in record times. HS2 is said to get you from London to Birmingham in 52 minutes, London to Manchester in 1 hour 7 minutes, Birmingham to Leeds in 49 minutes, and London to Glasgow in around 3 hours and 30 minutes. The main benefit of HS2 is this level of connectivity and being able to provide better links between the north and the south. Another benefit, as well as this level of connectivity, is it being fully carbon neutral. So once it's actually built, taking the journey by HS2 will be much more efficient than going by car. So why is HS2 such a controversial topic? It sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, the government have already poured over £15 billion into the project, so why is it dividing the nation to this degree? You have so many people that are very strongly against it, but also so many people that are very strongly for it. There are three main reasons that HS2 might get cancelled, and the first one I'm going to be covering is budget. Going over budget is a recurring theme when it comes to rail projects. The Elizabeth line was £10 billion over budget, and it opened 4 years late, and it was only serving one city. But when it comes to a nationwide project to the scale of HS2, it's inevitable that it would go over budget a little bit, but it's gotten to the point where it's unreasonable to even assume that it would break even or make any profit within any reasonable time frame. When it was first proposed in 2012, the budget for HS2 was around £33.7 billion. In 2013, it was £42.6 billion. 2015 and 2017 were the same at £55.7 billion, but then it rose again in 2019 to £88 billion and then again to £106 billion in 2020. They seem to have reduced that amount though, as in 2022 they have estimated that it will cost somewhere between £72 and £98 billion. No matter how you put it, that's a lot of money. These massive price tags are not very appealing to the British public, especially considering that we already have rail links to these places, with the only difference being that they are slower. In fact, it was confirmed in November 2021 that the eastern section from East Midlands Parkway to Leeds had been scrapped. The reason why so many people are against HS2 is because if the government are prepared to spend that kind of money on something, there are many better things that they could be doing, and this doesn't even take into account the environmental impacts. I think it goes without saying that HS2 is going to cause untold amounts of damage to the environment in its path. There are countless habitats, lakes, meadows and woodlands in its route that are currently in danger of being massively destroyed. This is because the route isn't able to bend around stuff, because to be able to achieve such a high speed with trains, you need to have a track that is as flat and as level as possible. Lots of the route will be on bridges or in tunnels to help meet these needs. In a time where the world is potentially moments away from irreversible damage, the people behind HS2 are eager to continue building despite acknowledging that the route can't be delivered without extreme harm to the natural environment. Wildlife trusts are trying to get the government and HS2 Limited to stop and rethink their plans with the current state of climate change. According to some sources, HS2 have promised to achieve a no net loss of biodiversity along the whole route, but still haven't delivered clear plans on how they intend on doing this with a project of this scale. They have already planted close to 1 million trees along the route, and they promise to plant nearly 7 times more, but these new trees can't replace the nearly 500-year-old ones that will inevitably get cut down. While HS2 itself will use electric trains and be a zero carbon alternative of transport, the process of actually building it will be massively detrimental to the environment. We've done budget, we've done environment, now it's time to move on to a more simple reason: impracticality. Great Britain is not exactly a big place, with the distance between London and Glasgow being only about 550 kilometres, and we can already travel from one to the other by train in about 4.5 hours. A country the size of America, where the distance between Los Angeles and New York is close to 4,000 kilometres, is the sort of scale where high-speed rail makes sense. In a nation as small as Britain, yes, the journeys would be faster, but not even by a revolutionary amount. Let's go back to our America example. On Amtrak trains, it will take you around 90 hours to travel from one side of the country to the other. That's a country that could do with high-speed rail. The small amount of time you will save is not going to be worth the inevitable massive ticket prices. So then, these are the primary reasons that HS2 is facing a lot of controversy right now. Obviously there are plenty more, but I decided to only cover the main ones. No, HS2 is not getting cancelled yet, but what is concerning is that I could make a video titled Why HS2 is getting cancelled and use all of these exact same reasons. So hopefully the government and the many companies behind HS2 realise what they're doing and can hopefully try and fix it, because me personally, I would like to see HS2, but I'd also not like to see the sacrifices that we have to make to have it. Do you want HS2 to be cancelled? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Win the league! We're gonna win the league! We are top of the league, say we are top of the league! And we will fight forevermore because of boxing.